Hello, everyone. Welcome to the analysis meeting, the last meeting of winter break and before our spring semesters get started. So on the agenda, very brief, but just a check-in with you guys and then updating you on our schedule in terms of lab times and online meetings, and then looking at something Gustavo has developed and which I've started to use and which we'll all use, a spring semester task list. So on the check-in, just wanted to see how many hours you guys are taking and if you're graduating in May. And then also over the break, if you've been working on your L1 or maybe your ham radio license, seeing what you are up to.
Yeah.
I'll go first. I've got 16 hours. I'm still a junior, so I'm not graduating. And I'm part of the L1 sponsored certs thing, so we're still working out the kinks in our design.
Nice. How is the L1 group with Randy going?
It's definitely going. Thanks to Zoom issues, I wasn't able to make the last time we met, but we're going to have, I think, one big meeting to do a little bit more on Venn design, and then I think we might have narrowed everything out by that point.
You gotcha. Cool.
I'm graduating in May. As you all know.
Yeah.
Last
Nice.
semester. Yeah, I'm excited. We'll see where life takes me. I'm only taking 12 hours. One of them being like a blow off class, so technically 9 hours in my head. L1 progress just because of everything with COVID. I just got my L1 to the lab now. Well, my brother took it for me. And then ham radio this week was the week where I started to study for it. So we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna take it a little bit slow throughout the semester.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm taking 14 hours this coming semester. I'm also a junior, so I won't be graduating. I've been kind of indisposed this winter break, so I haven't done much for SCR. Really, all I've done so far is kind of a document outlining some stuff for FEMAP, and once I get a little bit more done, I'll show you what I have so far.
Awesome. No, that sounds good. And yeah, definitely take your break. It's much needed. And I've definitely not done as much as I plan to, but I think that's good in getting me ready for the next semester and not just continuing to work. But yeah, I'm taking 11 hours because I decided to push back my graduation by a semester. So I am not graduating in May, but I now project to graduate in fall of 2023.
That's great.
Spring. Yeah, so we'll have a lot more time to devote, I think, to both analysis and also just AIAA in general, being the treasurer and trying to raise funds for competition and Zenith in general. So it should be less stressful, but I think some of the classes I'm taking are still going to be challenging as usual. And then my L1 is going pretty well. I haven't made too much progress on it, but I did go to the lab today to get some work done with Carlos. And I also have not studied for my technician license. Hopefully I can get that going as school starts and try and schedule a test and get that out of the way. But yeah, the two topics for us today, first being the spring schedule update. So I have nailed in our first lab time, and that will be on Wednesdays from 6 to 8 p.m. The second lab time is still to be decided because the way the leads are doing it is just letting each sub team take their first choice lab time, and then we'll all go through and take our second choice, just so that it's fair to everyone, so that they have one lab time that works for most of their members instead of being left with some odd times that barely any of them can make. So once we get a second lab time, hopefully, as it looks from the thing, from the when to meet, it can be 11 to 1 on Monday. Hopefully we can nail that down. I don't think other sub teams will want time in the morning. So I guess it'll be good for us having one in the morning and then one in the evening. And then for an online meeting time, I was thinking of wanting to have it before our general meeting on Tuesdays. So right before is an option, or maybe even Monday from 6 to 7. The reason being just so that we can get on the same page with us as analysis before we, I guess, go to the general meeting. And I know a lot of the times last semester, some of the updates that were provided in the general meeting was also news to you guys. So also having it earlier in the week can hopefully orient us better, and we'll be able to time out our tasks in a much better fashion. But wanted to see your opinion and what you think about an online meeting time.
I do think meeting earlier in the week will be better. For me personally, Monday would be better than Tuesday because of my class schedule.
Okay. Arturo?
Yeah, I agree with you. Only thing is Tuesday would actually be better for me, but I can try to make it to the Mondays if that's what we end up doing.
Okay. I'll see how it plays out with everyone else. So if you are watching the recording, then please let me know which one you may prefer. There's also something that Structures did last semester, was just including a weekly meeting at the beginning of their lab times. The only issue and the only thing I don't like about that is not having everyone there, and then it kind of gets out of sync, because if you're not there, then you should watch the recording on your own, and there's no designated time for an online meeting. So I think that's a backup, so something we could do, but hopefully one of these 2 days before the general meeting will work. That brings us to the spring semester task list. So last year with Oberon, Gustavo and Structures and I, we all created an Excel sheet, I guess, with a bunch of lists of tasks that we needed to get done, with due dates and people who were assigned to it. So Gustavo has decided to, I guess, re-implement that idea for the spring semester. I think that'll really help us with seeing what our timeline is like, and also claiming tasks. So if you see something that you may be interested in and you want to take it on, you can put your name down next to it and claim responsibility for it. Just as an outlook for some of the rough ideas that we've had from my meeting with Gustavo, for some major projects over the spring semester. I think learning CFD is something we want to start, and not sure what that timeline looks like, as I think it will be quite a bit to learn that software and overall the analysis. But hopefully towards the bottom, you see the CFD flow analysis with SRAD propulsion. I think that will be super helpful, and will also allow us to start to tap into more SRAD projects instead of solely working on Zenith. But another interesting, I guess, major bubble that I think analysis would be well suited for is physical testing. So I know in the spring semester, once we start to order parts and get them in, we'll have to do some physical testing, such as separation testing, or I know avionics may wanted to do some other testing, or if Structures has tests that they want to run, then that can all be through analysis, or we can help them out with that. And that'll give us the opportunity to also get some hands-on work in. I know with analysis and the first semester, it's been tough to find hands-on projects. So that's something I really want us to be able to do. And I think it's extremely important in terms of our own understanding as well, not just kind of seeing it on a screen, but physically being able to I guess, play around with and analyze different things. But yeah, so projects still being decided. Another one that's on there is kind of a Zenith data sheet. Something we were talking about is how do we want to justify all the decisions we're making, especially with the lack of documentation from, I guess, post PDR till now. We want to be able to say, okay, we chose this material for the airframe because of this, this, and this, or we chose this specific motor because of this, this, and this, or even we chose this dimensions of our fins because of our fin flutter, or a bunch of different things where a judge could potentially ask us, why did you make this design decision? And we have something to fall back on. So kind of assembling that in one data sheet, I think could be a cool project. Also on there are stuff we've already been familiar with, and that's kind of carried on throughout the winter break, the boat tail FEA, and keeping up the Zenith CAD. Eventually, we'll have to make some 2D drawings of all the parts with correct dimensions. So that's kind of what's on the horizon. I know it's not as much as I would have liked, so we're still thinking about it. And new things to add, I'm sure that will pop up throughout the semester. Another important point I wanted to make is starting to take control of your own projects. So my idea of this was having a project such as the Zenith data sheet, so I can set an overall due date for when that should be done. You can say it's set for March 4th right now, but then if I assign it to one of you, or one of you has a particular interest in doing that, then every subtask below is kind of up to you. So you see, if we want the Zenith data sheet done by this date, then what are the subtasks that need to get done in order to complete the major milestone? So you can define that, and then within that, set deadlines for each of them as you, I guess, pertain to your schedule. And then completing those so that it can get done by the major due date. I think that'll give you guys a lot of experience as well with kind of deadlining things out, carrying the tasks out, and then contributing to the team as a whole. So yeah, I just wanted to see your thoughts on the task list or any of the specific tasks. If you have any questions, then let them fly.
All right.
No
Sorry, I was
questions?
just
Are you good?
I was thinking about an answer.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that a test list would be I mean, it is a good idea, but so you said that the plan is to have, people individually kind of choose the tasks that they want to do, and so my question is, how do we kind of, like assure responsibility? Do we, like,
Yeah, so I think the way it worked for the fall semester was mainly just me assigning based on kind of what sub team you're in, and
Mhm.
what I've kind of noticed you may have a certain interest or are particularly good at certain things. So I want to still kind of have some of that assigning, but also I want to give you guys the freedom to where if you check up on the task list one day and you see something that you haven't seen before and it may be of interest to you, and you want to claim responsibility for that kind of project as a whole, then you can go ahead and put your name down, maybe send a message and say, hey, who wants to tackle this project with me? I can do this part because I have done it before, or I want to do it, or I'm looking for someone to help me out with this part because I'm not as confident with it. So kind of letting you guys choose what your strengths and weaknesses are, and kind of what projects you want to do. Because I think from there, you'll be a lot more invested in what you're doing rather than me kind of telling you to do it just to do it. So I think that'll give us a lot more freedom and effectiveness as a team.
All right, great answer.
Thank you. Amy, how does this sound? Like the shape of it?
Yeah, pretty good on the abstract. I guess we'll have to see how it works.
Yep, for sure. What do you guys think about some projects or areas of focus that you may want to see that are not on the task list? Just anything that you have thought of over the break or that you've always wanted to do on the team, and just kind of ideas about what analysis can conquer. Definitely don't feel the need to say something, but wanted to see if you guys had anything in mind.
I mean, I can't think of anything now, but I'm sure I'll think of something eventually.
Yeah, I think hopefully for those watching the recording, also if you have any thoughts, then send them in the Discord or next time we have a meeting. And I'm all ears and open to see what we're all interested in working on, with analysis being a new sub team this year, and now moving into more hands-on work. It'll be interesting to see where we take the team and what we want to focus on. And that's really up to us and what we deem fit. So excited to see where we go and what we can do. But any other questions for us right now?
No, I guess not.
Cool. Well, that'll be it. And good luck for the upcoming semester. I'm sure you guys will do great. And thanks for coming.